What's your business like these days? Because you mentioned AI a few times, and we know digital economy, it's become very numbers driven, Facebook ads and YouTube ads and metrics, and yet you sit on top of a lot of that and think, wait a second, guys, we've gotten too much into the numbers. We've gotten too logical. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
I'm never hostile to numbers. I'm slightly hostile to the bad use of numbers, and I'm very hostile to numbers that make decisions without any human intervention or oversight. The Boeing 737 MAX, that might be a case in point, okay? Which is that I don't, by the way, I don't believe you should have speed cameras. Or rather, I think at the very least, the speed camera should send back a video to a human operator, okay, of the 20 seconds before the speeding offence and the 20 seconds after the speeding offence to see in which context you are actually breaking the speed limit. Because there are cases where, secondly, I think that speed cameras or bus lane cameras, which are disproportionately profitable, okay, should be assigned. First of all, if you have a speed camera that's disproportionately catching a lot of people speeding, which, by the way, that Lib Dem politician, you remember on the M11, he was done for driving back from Stansted and breaking the speed limit.
Okay.
That speed camera raises about 10 times as much money as any other speed camera in Essex. What that suggests to me, as a complexity scientist, is that, sorry, mate, what you got there is a problem with signage and road design, not a problem with speeding.
Right.
Because if one speed camera catches people disproportionately to that extent, what it actually suggests, I can tell you exactly what happens, right? Okay? You're tooling down the M11 at, let's be realistic, okay, 78 miles an hour, because it's 1 o'clock in the morning, okay, or he was coming back from Stansted pretty late.
Okay, but that's a specific road in a specific situation.
Specifically, no. But then suddenly you come across a sign that says 50. Now, in order to not be caught by the speed camera, you'd have to brake with a violence which would actually be dangerous to road users behind you and dangerous to yourself.
So bad design.
So that's bad design, right? Similarly, if you have a bus lane, as in a camera in South London, which I think makes something like £3 million a year for people, the reason for that is that in order to turn left, you have to turn into the bus lane at some point, because otherwise turning left is downright dangerous.
Sure.
That is not evidence where you should be punishing the individual, you should be punishing the road designer.
Okay. But what about with what you do at Ogilvy and all this information? I mean, 10 years from now, will it be much more AI? Will there be computers figuring these things out?
I'm totally happy with having AI. I think, by the way, in some cases, AI will be very creative, because I think AI will dare to be trivial because it doesn't have an idea of what trivia is. So weirdly, AI will quite often, I think, pick up the importance of butterflies. So AI also doesn't practice, one hopes, defensive decision-making. Where it becomes dangerous, however, is what becomes defensive decision-making, okay, is always doing what the AI says. Because you're much less likely to get sued for obeying the algorithm than you are if you use your own judgment.
Right.
So you may create an environment in which overriding AI becomes a very dangerous career move, and we've got to be careful of that. We've also got to be careful because AI and algorithms contain within them the inherent biases and prejudices of the designer.
Yeah.
So, for example, all train AI assumes you want to get to your destination as soon as possible. Until recently, I think they may have corrected this in response, I hope, to my article. You could be at Waterloo Station wanting to get to Bath. There could be a direct train to Bath leaving in 10 minutes. And your National Rail app would tell you to go to Paddington and catch a train there because it's 7 minutes faster, okay? Even though the train is twice the price and involves taking a tube, carrying your luggage up an escalator and doing all that, rather than merely boarding a direct Waterloo train to Bath. Okay, that's because someone has designed the algorithm to over-prioritize the importance of speed versus hassle and price.
Yeah.
In the case of airline algorithms, we're being so driven to choose by price that it will soon become completely impossible to introduce optional improvements to passenger experience in an aircraft, because you'll fall below the fold in the search results. Okay? And therefore, essentially, air travel, if we're not careful, will become a race to the bottom, where the natural human trade-off between quality and price will become distorted. In the case of Google Maps, the algorithm is designed by Californians. And Californians don't understand the idea of a journey where you drive to a station and catch a train. So if I ask Google Maps when I'm in Sevenoaks, get me into work, it goes, okay, do you want to go by car or do you want to go by public transport? Okay, now that's a very Californian. It doesn't switch to Spanish when I click public transport. That'd be the most Californian thing in the world, wouldn't it? It goes, hola, amigos, here's your pass. But it basically assumes that the only reason you want to use public transport is because you don't own a car. Now, anybody who lives outside the M25 knows the way to get to central London, unless it's like a quiet Sunday, is basically you drive to a station, you catch a train.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Understood.
Okay. But this thing goes, okay, well, you can go by car and it takes you an hour and 25 minutes because you'll get stuck in traffic, or you can take a bus to the railway station, which means you'll have to walk for half a mile and then wait for 30 minutes for a bus, right? Now, both of those are based on a bollocks assumption that you can't mix car with train.